Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm sorry I'm late. I have a cat trying to break in already. Give me just a moment. You guys can watch Ava be cute for a second. Just a second, Billy. Oh my goodness. Okay, come on in. Come on. Whoa! Oh, I wish the camera had been on the door. He just tried to get my arm, and leapt up and did his swatting thing midair. It was hilarious. Oh my gosh, he's so funny. Hi, I'm so sorry I'm late. Hello, Michelle Moreland. How you doing, honey? The cats are going crazy playing with their toy. And of course, there is the crowd favorite, but on the bed. Hello, Auntie Dolphins. Come on, Auntie Dolphins is here for you. Hi, Deanna. Good to have you, honey. Yeah, we are getting that major SNOW storm. Yeah, we're supposed to get like 9 inches and not the good kind. So, the internet has been spotty, and I'm really hoping that it holds out. And I am still exporting one of the clips for tonight, but it's at 91.3%. So it's almost there. But I figured we usually sit and talk for a few minutes anyways, so there was time to kill. So I am in Tomah, Wisconsin. Hello, my salty Buddha. How you doing, honey? All right. I am going to give Ava a treat because she's been such a good girl today. She really has. She has been such a good girl. And she knows it too. She knows how loved and how spoiled she is. That was funny. I got Billy jumping up to grab my hands. I got Ava jumping up to grab my hands. Yeah, I know, Michelle, honey. I remember that. We have discussed that before. You meet so many people, though, sweetie. It's hard to remember everybody. I don't know if you all can hear this. I think somebody wants the treat. What do you think? Hi, baby. How you doing? How good have you been today? Can you speak? Yes, you can. Can you dance? Okay. She she was a bit excited. Yes. Now, mama, now. Hello, how you doing, Robert? Good to have you here, honey. And me, and the curtains, and the bed. Oh.
So you're
Oh, the clip just ended. Yes. Exporting. Okay. Yay. Now I can use my amazing drive that was sent to me by Palmyra. And I can put the clip on here, and then I can put it into my computer, and then I can share it with y'all. Yes. I have one computer that I use for downloading and some editing, and then I have my primary computer that I edit and stream. And yeah, they're both used, and my primary is refurbished, but it's great. It works really well, and I'm blessed. I am so blessed to have two that I can transfer stuff back and forth and, do what I gotta do. Otherwise, I would not be able to give you guys as much or as good of stuff. So, man, I'm transferring this too because I've really got to edit that. That was a good one. You know what? I'll leave it on here and maybe I'll edit it while I stream. Maybe we'll watch it tonight. I really liked that one. How long is that anyways? Oh, it's only half a gig, so it can't be too long. All right. I'm sorry, I get sidetracked easily. Put that in here. There we go. And I decided to be nice tonight. And I sent Law Talk with Mike the Savsit Karen clip because I know he ran her actual court appearance, but I don't think he has her FTA. I don't know if he's run it or not. So I sent it to him. Kind of like my late Christmas present to Mike. I haven't sent him anything for a while. All my time is spent editing and streaming, and I feel bad because I don't get around to sending him anything because that's an additional, uploading it to a different drive and then, but, and then today, my sweet, wonderful daughter, we thought she had dry sockets, but it turns out it's an infection, pretty bad one. So, and I had a fight with the insurance company. I was on the phone for like 3 hours going back and forth with the insurance company and the dentist trying to get her medication covered. Finally got a different medication covered. It's not as effective as quick, but hopefully it provides some relief. But a week of no school for that kid. Hi, Andrea Collins. Thanks for making it. Hope you're having a great night. I know she is. She is. And she knows she is. She's so dang spoiled, and you know it. Not yet. Not yet. But hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. All right. I got this done. And I set up, that TV tray that was against the window last night that was driving me nuts because it kept making noises. I put it, I had it here, there. So I've put it to my left, and my idea is Billy cannot surprise attack jump up on the desk now. That's the thought. I don't know how successful I will be in that venture, but that's the idea. And I went fantasy desk shopping today on Amazon, and I picked out I think it was 4 desks, and I don't expect them because they're like expensive. They're like $180, but they're so cool. And it's pretty funny when you go furniture shopping and the primary concern that you have is, does this have a place for my cat to sleep? And that's what I found myself doing. All of the desks that I picked out, I have a vision of, if I get this desk, then I'm going to put up a little, kitty bed here or a kitty activity area here. I love my fur babies. They are so dang spoiled. But they make life better. They really do. Oh no. Usually by this time of the year, we would have already had a week-long session of -50 because of the wind chill. Would you stop? Please stop licking. If you're going to be on my bed, you're not going to do that. Yeah. I think it's that time for her. And that's why she was kicked off my bed in the first place. And suddenly she thinks it's okay to be on there because I invite her to be on camera. So she thinks she's extra important. She's extra, all right. Yes, drive safe tomorrow. Be safe. I also have a commute tomorrow, and I'm actually kind of hoping that my transportation company cancels it because of the storm. I have to ride 2 hours from Toma to Madison to go to physical therapy and then ride 2 hours back. But it's done at the advanced pain management. So they're trained in expertise of chronic pain. And the way that they explained it was they're trained in chronic pain. And, when you go to physical therapy at the hospital or something, those are trained for acute pain. And basically I go once or twice a month and they teach me, they evaluate me, and then they say, well, you're going to do these exercises at home X amount of times a day until we see you again. And then I come back in a month and they evaluate how much progress I've made based on the exercises that they gave me to try to increase or maintain what mobility I do have. So I've got that going on for me. But, and I'm very pro physical therapy. I'm one of those people, like, when I thought it was my hip that was hurting, I begged. I'm like, can you please put in an order for physical therapy? Like, I don't want more meds. Like, I don't need more meds. I need something to fix me. And, they can't do surgery. And at that time, they didn't know what was wrong. They thought that it was my hip, but it ended up being my spine. So, but thank God that I did that, because it was the physical therapist who figured out that it was my spine that was injured and that it wasn't my hip. So she's miserable. I don't know how it would have been had it been the other way around, but when I had mine, it wasn't this bad. This is bad. Hello, Shane. Good to have you here, sweetie. I know, isn't that just a bummer? Hi, Tiana Miller. I think this is the third time I've seen you in here. I'm so happy that you're joining the lives. Yes. No. No, I don't even, what would that be in Celsius? Let me see. I forget the conversion. So -50 in Celsius. Oh, so instead they just give me a calculator. -50 degrees Fahrenheit. Calculate. It is, I don't want the solution. Don't make me math right now. Just give me the answer. That doesn't make any sense. It says 45 degrees Celsius. Oh, -45.5 repeating Celsius. So not that much different, which is weird because 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So how do you then go into the negatives and there's only a 5-degree difference? I don't understand that. But that's not my strong suit. Hi, Philip Heels from Mali, Victoria, Australia. Hi, honey. I'm so happy to see you, as always. And if y'all hear that, I don't know. I don't want to call it a winding sound, but it's like a gear kind of sound. That's the toy that they go crazy for from Checks and Cherries that they play with constantly, and they absolutely love it. And if you can't tell, of the 4 cat balls on the wall, the silver vine is gone. Billy ran through that like Ava just ran through my door. Yeah. Meow. Oh my goodness. Hi. I'm on. I'm so sorry I'm late. I love you. Much love, honey. I am so happy to see you. Oh, I'm on more than I'd ever like to be. It's okay. I right now, thing is meds are temporary. Meds you got to keep taking. But if I can do something to strengthen it, then that's a permanent solution. And I'd rather get some mobility back. I'd rather be able to stand up straight. I'd rather be able to walk more than like 20 feet without having to lean over. I just want my spine back. Can I have that, please? She's not yet. It's too much right now, but eventually I'll get there. I'd really like her to be. Hello, Jenny Green. How you doing, love? Hi. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, honey. I am not putting that up on the screen. But Amanda, you have all of our love. And I'm really sorry to hear that. And I hope things get better for you. And I am here for you. And I know the chat is. You want some fun. You want some smiles and some laughs. It comes from the chat. They'll do their best. They will do their best. Hi, Tammy Tianki, honey. Good to see you. That's okay. I can still block it. Give me a second. Well, and the thing is, yep, there, banned. When is Adrian coming to my house to cook for me? He needs to be able to do dishes too, though. That's a rule. What, making me laugh or saying bye-bye to that one troll in the chat? It's a peachy chat tonight. Maybe. Talking about the fact that I'm getting 9 inches tonight of snow, and now we have Philip down under. And there goes Earl taking a drink. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. I love him. I haven't seen Archangel in here for a minute. I hope he's okay. Hi, Robert and Adrian. Hi, you guys. Thank you so much for being there for Philip. He's one of my faves. No offense, chat. Philip's been with me literally from day one. He's actually one of the reasons why I'm on this late at night. I saw his comments on my videos, and I thought, I'll just go on so he can be on during the daytime, and and now here I am, because I got addicted to you guys. And I learned that me being on at night has a bigger purpose, because it gives us somewhere to be, to laugh and to have fun and joke around and watch fun court clips. And I know everybody has been waiting for this one. Hold on. Oh. What? Shane, I'm not gonna put that up, but I have no idea what you're talking about. Unless you're talking about that guy who thought he had a chance, if that's what you mean. That wanted me to allow him onto my stream, which, no offense, guys, but I'm not going to have people on my stream that I don't know or barely know or only know from chat. It's a safety thing for my channel and a comfort thing for my chat, because you get a stranger on, You don't know what they're going to do. And if suddenly they do something very inappropriate, I'm the one that takes the fall for it. So, and I know, I know that's not always going to be the case. And it's not even a matter of any person specifically other than that one guy. But for future reference for others, it's nothing personal. Unless it's someone who is very well established, I can't risk it. Yes, very much so. Yeah. Mama Jamma! Hi, honey! Oh my gosh! Every time you come in, I'm doing a stream and I can't stop it and say, Mama Jamma! And I want to. You don't know how much crap I get for interrupting the clips. Yes, that is exactly true. Yep. One hard R and it's gone. And I can't do it. Or I would have to immediately stop the stream, take the video down, and these videos are a lot of work. Once I stream something, like I can't exactly restream it. So if something happens halfway through the stream, you guys have already seen, half the clip. You're not going to rewatch it and put your same jokes out there and put the same energy and love into it that you do the first time around just so that I can repost it. I mean, that's silly. I would just rather not have stuff go wrong. Ooh, Dolphin's got threats. She's feisty tonight. Dolphins, you be nice. You gotta be nice. Like Ava nice. Ava's super nice. Billy's a little jerk face tonight. I love my little jerk face. Hold on. Oh, nope. Wrong direction. Lefts are right and rights are lefts. I wanted to be able to give you guys your Earl vision. No. I don't know if you remember the woman that he ran, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days ago or whatever. Well, I went back in time through my archive and I found her original appearance. And then and I enhanced the audio and everything so you could hear the, F to the judge from the gallery and all that fun stuff. Or was that the guy's clip? I don't know. I went through and she had some snarky snide comments and it was just a lot of fun. But on her first appearance, she had cut up the documents from the court and wrote, "I do not consent to contract with you," across them in red, and then gave them back to the court on the day she's supposed to be in court, shredded. So I found that appearance, her FTA, that got her that contempt charge. And I ran it last night, and then today I sent it to Mike so that if he wanted to share it with his channel, he has it. So usually Billy's up there. Because Billy, that silver ball, that silver vine ball, that was Billy's. I don't even know if Earl got to taste that. It was like a jelly. It was so it was so cool. But I think it was like concentrated. But imagine THC wax versus flower, I guess, is, probably the same thing they were experiencing. Are you going to come here and get it? I have Rachel Ray Nutrish or the Prime Bones or bacon flavored. Come on, I'll give you a treat and then you can pass it to Ava. Yes, please do. Yep. There's like, and that doesn't go for, oh, they're just annoying. That they can stay. They can be annoying and you can ignore them. But certain things are just not tolerated. Racism is an absolute ban. You will not get a warning. There is no warning for that. Gone. The other thing is, I very, very, very much dislike the R word. I don't want that anywhere in my chat. Just general being crappy to another person. That's it. That's the only things that people are gone for. Yeah. But racism is the only instant permaban. I don't even want to try to reform you. If you're already that crappy, then you don't belong here. Oh, Jody Gardner. I'm not putting that up there, but I love you, honey. I love you. And I'm so happy to be here with you. You guys are my company. Y'all keep saying I'm your company. You're my company. You keep me happy. Yes. Oh my gosh. And I made this little, I don't know, lofty thing on my bed, and it works great. That's just one of those plastic snap together shelves. I don't know where the rest of it is. It's put together somewhere around this house. But so I had one layer that wasn't a part of the other shelf. And so I just put that against the wall. And there's a pillow under it if they want to lay on the pillow. Ava usually just puts her head on that. And then on top, there's a couple of ramen boxes. So one of them is the cup noodle box, which is deeper. And then one of them is from the ramen bowls. And so it's shallow. And that, that seems to be the one that's preferred. So that's why it's in front. So, and it's perfect. I mean, I'm the only one in that bed. There's plenty of room for my babies to sleep with me. But now they have their own place to do that. And I'm so happy with it. Someday I will build my fur baby mansion. And it will be, I won't have, tons of, I won't have tons of animals. Like, no, I'm not a hoarder. But the ones that I do have will be extra loved. That I'll put up there anytime, day or night. And I love you. Yeah, yeah, Shane, that one is not allowed because I had an ex, and that was the way that they referred to my child. Yeah, that's the one that I left, and I ended up sleeping in my car for a couple months because we just needed to get out. Oh, I don't care about language. You can cuss. I don't care. I cuss. I try not to cuss too much because I think that gets you in YouTube trouble. But I cuss. I'm like a sailor. That's been Billy today. It must be something in the kitty star alignment. Oh, they've just been... Earl's been really good, though. But he's occupied with that toy. Like, he's constantly playing with that thing until, like, right this moment. This is the first time I think that cat has rested today. Wait, don't you have a husband too? Where does he get to fit into that puzzle? He just gets the rest of the bed. I don't know any Dutch. I don't know any Dutch. I will have to learn other than Kia ora. And isn't that? No, that's not Dutch. What was Kia ora? What language is that? Ja. Ja, you're right. Probably. He'll get the zoomies at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., something. Because I'm silly. I don't know. I thought you did. If I'm wrong, and I'm sorry. I think it was because I saw somebody else on the duck video you sent me. New Zealand, thank you. Thank you. Well, I knew that's where, but that's not the language. But I was having a block. Well, it's a good thing we haven't really started with anything but our coffee and chat. I haven't done anything, like exciting, worthy of the channel. It's just kind of been the April show. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, that's so true. That is so, so, so true. And they kick you in your sleep. They're kind of worse than husbands in that respect. I don't think that's the language. I try not to call them that because I don't know if that's an insult or not. But I hear people referring to them as it all the time. So I'm thinking not. I just don't want to, say something wrong and offend anybody. That's like my biggest fear. I don't want to offend. I don't want to offend people that love me, that I love accidentally, It's like my neighbor, she's so cute. She doesn't speak a whole lot of English, but she refers to me as a gringo, and I'm like, I think you might want to be careful who you call that. I know it's endearing, but I don't think that everybody thinks that it's endearing. I might be wrong. But oh, did Billy join the party with Earl in the box? What's going to happen here? He's going to go to the box in the back. Did you get disturbed? All three of my babies. Oh, and there just went the little TV tray. All three of them. I know you can't see Ava. She looks like a blanket. Oh, she got down. Ava, you don't have to get down, baby. Come. Baby, come. Come, baby, come, baby, come. Hi. Hi. Come on. Come on, dance with me. Come on, dance with mommy. Dance with mommy. I love you. I love you, you spoiled little girl. Spoiled little Ava girl. She's like, Mama, stop. Mama, stop. All right. You can go wherever you want and lay down now, baby. I just wanted to play with you. I just wanted to play with Sava. And the chat wanted me to play with Sava. Am I wrong? Yes. She was on earlier, but I had to bring her back for you. How come? That's terribles. Oh, Billy's licking the wall balls. Okay, so it's not offensive. Good. It kind of does. It's bright like that, and it's beautiful, and I love it because it's so true. No one fights alone, and that it's only referring to service workers, police, fire, military, dispatch, corrections, EMS, nurse. But truth is, it's everybody. How many times has one of us been just down and we'll join? It just doesn't have to be this chat. It doesn't have to be. But we'll join a chat and our mood is better just because of the people that we're there with. It doesn't even have to be the streamer that's on. It's just the chat. It doesn't even have to be the content. That the video you're watching doesn't even have to be good. If you have a good chat, if you have a good, loving family like we have, it's all good. So, I am going to put the clip on now that we've had 40 minutes. Oh my goodness. 40 minutes of us just hanging out. I'm sorry to the people who actually come here to watch clips. But this is what we do. We are. You guys are the best. I have the best chat in the world. And I can say that. Yep. Because I have amazing people from all over the world here. And I love it. Yeah, we did. We did. That's kind of my fault. And kind of the internet's fault. Yeah, I've got texts from Spectrum that outage notices and expected outage notices for the storm. So, yeah. Hopefully it'll last long enough for us to see at least 2 of the clips tonight. So I am going to start with, I'll be honest, I ran out of time editing it. I have not watched it all. But what I have watched was really good. But I did my thing with taking out all the time, the dead space, air gaps. So, I mean, you can ask Emily. I sent her a picture of it. There was a lot. But I mean, if I missed them, I'm sorry. And if I missed a phone number or an address or something like that, I'm sorry. I tried to get them all. I really did. But I'm not perfect. Oh, good. Good. Well, now they're supposed to. Now they can lick the balls on the wall without licking the wall. That was a genius gift. I know I had it on my Amazon list, and like I said, one's already gone. Now they can lick the wall as much as they want, as long as it's on those balls. All right. There may be. There absolutely may be. They are. And I am. Yep, I know. I know. I know, honey. I know. We'll see. All right, let me get this clip going. Okay. Oh, phew. It wasn't loading, and my heart stopped.
So you're Jenny Eichbush?
Yes.
Okay, and you are Adam Unrein.
Yes.
Okay, and we're on for temporary orders. This is
Yeah.
in the District Court of Ellis County, Kansas. It is case number 23 DM 300032. Jenny Eichenbusch et al. Versus Adam Unrein. And Mr. Unrein, in your answer, you are not denying parenting. You're not
No.
denying that you're the parent of the child.
Yeah, I'm almost positive I'm the father. I mean, even in like a punitive, I've been in her life for a really long time. We've never done any sort of DNA test or anything, but I would say that I'm the father.
And you're not requesting a DNA test?
I could, we could schedule that later on if you guys would, if everybody within the courts would want to do so, we could do that as well.
Well, in your answer, you indicated that you are the father. And
Yes.
you are not requesting genetic testing.
No.
So is that correct? You're the father?
Yes.
And you're not requesting genetic testing?
No.
Okay. Now you're appearing here today pro se. Is it your choice to appear pro se?
Yes.
Okay. And Janalee, you're appearing pro se.
Yes.
And it's your choice to appear pro se?
Correct.
Okay, so neither one of you want to hire an attorney in this matter?
No. Not this time.
Not at this time.
Okay. And we're on for temporary orders?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And Athena is 4 years old?
Yes, she's 4.
Okay. So let me place you both under oath so that the information the court receives is under oath. I'll start with the petitioner, Jenna Lee. And is that how you pronounce it, Jenna Lee?
That's correct.
Okay, if you'd raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear and or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the penalties for perjury in the state of Kansas.
I do.
Are you currently in the state of Kansas?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. And Adam, if you would raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear and or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the penalties for perjury in the state of Kansas.
Yes, sir.
Are you currently in the state of Kansas?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Okay, Jenna, you're the petitioner in this matter, so I'll start with you. What is your proposal for temporary custody and temporary visitation?
At this time, Your Honor, when I had filed the paperwork, the custody agreement, I was hoping to get into mediation eventually, but for the time being, until we can mediate and have a parenting plan set forth, I am proposing that I have Athena full custody at this time.
And why?
I do not, I fear for her well-being and her safety with the defendant, and I would like to see well, not, I fear for her well-being and her safety.
And why is that?
Shortly before I filed in the courts, I was not sure where the defendant was living with Athena. Our agreement up to that point was 50-50 custody, 1 week on, 1 week off, where we would have exchanges on Sundays at noon. And so she would be with Adam for a week, and then every Sunday we would exchange at noon, and then she would be with me for a week. I found out that I did not know where they were living. And then I wasn't sure if they were living in an RV or living in the tattoo shop he rents. That was one concern. Another concern was, up until this point, another concern is kind of just volatile behavior that I've seen, and that is what is concerning to me.
What has been that behavior concerning the child?
There has been instances where Adam has got upset and like has been verbally aggressive, and just yelling in front of Athena. I don't agree with, or I don't feel like that's something she should see. And that's, yeah. Ask
Your Honor,
the judge.
my name's Bobby.
Wait a minute.
You're not sworn in.
You're not sworn as a witness. If she wants to call you as a witness, she can do that. But before, do you have anything else, Jenna Lee, to say regarding custody?
Not. I would like to eventually swear him in as a witness if. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Okay. Adam Unrein, do you have any questions of Jenna Lee?
No, honestly, the first residence that I was living at.
Okay, wait a minute. It's your time to ask Jenna Lee questions.
Oh,
We'll get to the point where you can testify.
okay. I don't really have any questions towards her. I've always trusted her and Bob doing what they're doing.
Again, Mr. Unrein, don't give me testimony yet. It's not your turn yet.
Okay.
So Jenna Lee, do you want to call the person next to you?
Yes, I
Who
would
is
like to
that?
call Robert Rohr as a witness.
Mr. Rohr, would you please raise your right hand?
Sir.
Do you solemnly swear and or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the penalties for perjury in the state of Kansas?
Yes, sir.
And you're currently in the state of Kansas?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Eichenbusch.
I would like to call Robert Rohr to
Yes,
speak.
you've called him. Ask him questions now.
Okay. Is there anything else we should add?
Yeah. So a few instances that I thought were troubling, to say the least. Halloween, we Adam and Sam and Jen and I, we all went trick or treating for Halloween, and we spent the 20 or 30 minutes before we went trick or treating. Adam was shouting over Athena about how Western Kansas is just full of a bunch of effing rednecks and hillbillies, and they're homeless now because that was right around the time that they lost their home. And this was literally, literally over top of Athena's head, until I kind of encouraged Adam to come outside with me and just kind of let him air his yelling outside rather than right in front of his child. Also, there was an incident this past Saturday where kind of well, just to put it bluntly, Adam's wife now, she called us at 4 o'clock in the morning, or texted us at 4 o'clock in the morning, crying about how she was afraid for Adam, that Adam had developed a plan. He hadn't slept for 4 or 5 days at that point, she said. And Adam was still up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they had a plan where him and Adam's dad were going to come find Athena the next day, Saturday, and they were going to take her. That was obviously very troubling. There's been when we gave Adam the paperwork for custody, we kind of knew immediately what was going to happen. He was going to just lose his mind. So we recorded the encounter there, and Adam, I'm not going to say he chased us, but he shouted us out of his tattoo parlor, all while I was holding Athena, and Adam's just berating both of us. Yeah, there was in the
He
past.
wouldn't let Bobby shut the car door either.
It's my turn.
Sorry.
I need to have one person testifying, okay?
Also, there was a time here. There was some evidence that Adam submitted, and it starts out with, I'm going to refer to this page here. It's the long letter that he submitted to the courts. The first sentence is, "We have been completely transparent with both the school and Jenna Lee about our move." And that is just fundamentally false, Your Honor. There was a 2-month period where we had no idea where he was living. And it come to find out he was living in an old RV on a vacant lot in Luray, Kansas, with no running water, which Luray is an hour away from Athena's school, one direction. So that's 4 hours of driving for somebody every day. Once we found out that they were living in the RV, that's when we kind of had enough, and we served him the custody paperwork because we didn't feel it was safe for Athena to be living in an RV with no facilities. And if you look at the parenting plan that Jenna Lee and I submitted to the court, one of the stipulations that we have in there is that that we'd like him to have like permanent housing. Well, also on Saturday, when we heard of Adam's breakdown or whatever, we also learned that the apartment that they had found in Russell, there was an altercation between Adam and the landlord there, and the landlord, being a lady, Adam had shoved her back into the house while she was trying to close the door on him. I think Jen and I had discussed previously that like we'd like to have Adam undergo like a mental evaluation or some sort of evaluation before he'd be able to, interact with Athena again.
Okay, Robert, what relationship are you to Athena?
Nothing by blood. Jen and I are in a relationship.
Okay, so you're Jenna Lee's significant other?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That I don't know very well at all.
Any other questions, Jenna Lee, you have of Robert?
We also have the record from when we spoke with Adam's partner Saturday morning at 4 o'clock. We have the recording of that conversation where she goes on to say how he hasn't slept in 3 or 4 days and that he has a plan to take Athena. Yeah, and we could submit that also if need be.
Okay. Adam, do you have questions of Robert?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have only recently known Robert Rohr for about 2 to 3
Okay,
months.
Mr. Unrein, again, this is not your time to testify. It's your time to ask questions of Mr.
Oh.
Rohr.
So my question is, honestly, I feel like we were trying to co-parent together, Robert and myself, and we were trying to do it on a neutral sort of way to be able to meet at this tattoo shop so that we would be able to understand each other a little bit better and understand each other's plans a little bit better. I feel like,
Adam, do you have any questions of Robert Rohr?
no, I don't really have any questions.
Okay. Adam, would you like to testify?
Yes, I would. I
Okay.
would also like
Go
to
ahead.
swear in I would also like to swear in my witness of my wife as well, so she could have her opportunity to speak what she would need to speak,
Okay,
if that would work.
do you want her to speak before you or after you?
She can speak before me.
Okay. What is her name?
Her name is Samantha Unrein.
Okay, Samantha, would you raise your right hand, please? You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the penalties for perjury in the state of Kansas.
Yes, sir.
And you're currently in the state of Kansas.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Okay, Adam, you may ask her questions.
So you understand the whole everything that we've gone through from this point, from moving to Russell and our living situations, and that how everything has went, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We have always informed generally of what was going on with our living situation. We had an apartment here when we first moved. After a while, we started noticing black mold was starting to form. So we did need to find a new place to live. We found a property out in Luray that we got. We got the electricity hooked up, and everything in the RV is running. We do have a compost toilet, but I have also looked up all the laws for Kansas, and nowhere did it say that that wasn't allowed. We have also in the paperwork and everything, we've informed the school. We've talked with Athena's teachers and informed them of everything about having to live in the RV until we found the apartment, which we have been in contact with the lady that lived there that owned it. The reason why we hadn't moved in right away was because she informed us that they needed to fix the heating in it. We didn't want to sit there and live in a big room, an area to where a small little space heater was not going to be able to heat the whole thing when we had Athena. So that is why we had stayed in the RV, that we were able to get hooked up to the pole to had everything that it needed for Athena. And then once we were able to get into the apartment, once she was able to get the heat fix, that was when we moved into the apartment.
So are you in an apartment now?
Yes.
And where's that apartment? In Russell?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Regarding the incident that had happened over this past weekend, we haven't been able to see Athena since December 3rd. And it has taken a major toll on both of us. Even before we moved down to Russell, we had Athena a lot, even to the point to where we would have her Monday through Friday. And it really affected us mentally because, we moved down here for her, to be near her, to, we didn't want to stay in Kansas City and then only see her every other weekend, or if that. So we took the choice to leave our stable homes, our stable jobs, to come down here, start fresh, And, you know, so that way we could still be in Athena's life as, you know, as much as possible. And since then it has definitely taken a toll on us, especially Adam. You know, that's his daughter. And I will say, yes, I was worried about Adam. He was having trouble sleeping, understandable. So I did call gently and inform them that, you know, Adam was he was having to me, I felt like he was having a mental breakdown. And I was concerned for him. And he was really just wanting to go see Athena. And I wanted to call them and let them know that, you know, I don't want Athena to see her dad that way. You know, she needs to see her dad happy and, you know, and doing well. And when, you know, I don't think kids should see their parents when they're, you know, very distressed.
Hey, one moment.
We're having
My question would be, was it the lack of sleep or was it a substance abuse problem? That's what I'm curious, because that's not normal behavior. So it's either a mental health issue. That's not even normal behavior when you're struggling with sleep. So it's either mental health or substance abuse.
Having a meeting. Yeah, you could come back in about 10 or 20 minutes.
So that is why I called Jenny and them that morning, because I mean, he was really wanting to go see her. And, you know, I just wanted them to, you know, not to let Athena see her dad when he was in that state. I did take him to Salina Hospital that Monday. And he saw the doctor and was prescribed a medication to help him sleep. Doctor told him he did not need to take it every day. He, you know, only when he felt like it was necessarily needed. And he even did an evaluation on Adam at that time and stated, you know, Adam was completely fine. He could just tell that he was very stressed.
The time you believe he was having a nervous breakdown, that was Saturday, the 30th of December?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and then he saw somebody on
Monday. Yeah, Monday the 1st.
Monday the 1st?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Enright, do you have any other questions of Samantha?
Samantha, whenever my father and my uncle got involved, what do you think that did to my mental health?
Having his father and his uncle try and get involved in everything really took another toll on him as well. Adam has had a lot of trauma caused by his dad and his uncle, and they were trying to be afflictive, and just his father was also even telling him that he should just go and get Athena, and because he was like, you know, you're the dad, you have the right to see her, you have the right to have her. And that's where I would step in and explain to him that, you know, that's something that we shouldn't do, because we knew it wouldn't be the right thing to do.
Any other questions, Adam, that you have of Samantha?
What did I tell my father and my uncle whenever they insisted on taking us to Athena? What did I tell them?
You did tell them that, you know, as much as you would love to see Athena, you need to see Athena. That even just seeing her would help you tremendously. You also knew that it would not be good to do at this time.
Any other questions, Mr. Enright?
That's the perfect.
I have a question to you according to Athena's 4th birthday and how that went for us whenever we first were introduced to Bob, and really how that went for us.
So before we even came down here to Russell, we always tried to have Athena around kids as much as possible, especially her being an only child. For Athena's 4th birthday party that was done at Jenna Lee's father's house, we were the only ones that had a child come, and all the adults there were drinking, especially all around Athena. We don't think that should, Athena needs to see a bunch of people drinking, especially for her birthday party. That's something that should be done, when Athena's, either not there or when she is sleeping, or, there has been incidents before to where people have been drinking around Athena and she got hurt. There was a New Year's to where she slipped and fell in a tub and chipped her tooth. That got so jammed into her gums that, her gums were swollen. It was hard for her to eat. And then later had to be pulled out because it was starting to form an abscess in it to where it could have gotten infected.
And that sucks. And I'm really sorry that happened to the little girl. But that could have happened at any time to any parent, because kids fall. They're, very often like those Weeble Wobble toys that you smack it and it falls down and it pops right back up. That's what kids do. It doesn't mean it happened because they had a beer. Now, I don't support drinking at a child's 4th birthday party, but if, the grandpa was there or something and had a beer, as long as nobody was drunk and falling over and causing a ruckus or something like that, how much different is it from a backyard family barbecue? At 4 years old, you get them a bouncy house or some play stuff and you just have all the family together. So your argument falls as flat on its face as what you're claiming the child did.
Anything else, Mr. Enright?
Nothing else at this moment.
Okay. Jenna Lee, do you have questions of Samantha? And Jenna Lee, your picture has rotated, so where you appear to be on your.
I had to plug
There
my
it is.
phone in. It's charging. I'll try and fix it.
Okay.
Stand it up.
Do you have questions of Samantha?
We get to talk. We get to ask questions. Adam. Yes.
Will we get to ask Adam questions?
Yes, when
Okay.
he testifies, but right now Samantha has testified. Do you have questions of Samantha?
I would like to know exactly who all you saw drinking at the birthday party.
I saw you, your father, Bobby's mother, I believe was.
So
Believe Bobby was as well.
Okay, Mr. Enright, it's not your time to testify, so please don't.
I don't believe your mother was. I don't believe your stepfather was, but everyone else I do believe was, yes.
Were we intoxicated or acting intoxicated? The people who you believe were drinking?
A little, but not fully intoxicated. You were still able to obviously function, but after we left, I don't know.
Did you see how many beverages each person consumed
No,
that you believe to be drinking?
no.
Say no questions. You have to say no more questions.
Yeah. Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Okay. Do you have any additional questions of her, Mr. Enright?
Do you have any further questions?
For Samantha, to address the Halloween, how did that go with how Bobby's behavior was towards people in public?
One thing I would like to state, when we were, I believe, at can't remember if it was at the library or one of the facilities, Bobby thought it would be okay to make fun of a disabled person in front of Athena, and would continue to do so until we ended up leaving the facility, which we don't feel like that is right to do in front of a child. A child should be able to accept everybody, not make fun of people with disabilities, because they obviously can't control that of having a disability.
Jen, any questions based on that?
Samantha, can you clarify what was said in this instance that you're speaking of?
He was making fun of a person being very short, calling them a midget, and just laughing at their size.
Any other questions, Jenna-Lee?
Samantha, was Adam laughing during this instance that you are referring to?
It's possible.
So it is possible he could have been laughing.
Okay, and Robert, please don't coach. Okay.
All right, Your Honor.
It could be a possibility, but I'm not sure.
You know darn well. And to try to use it against the other person when you were condoning the behavior in the moment, that's silly. Quit being silly.
No further questions on this concern.
Adam, did you want to testify?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Ever since I have been involved with Bob, he has always treated everything in a very unserious manner. He makes a lot of things seem like a joke, that for even special needs people, that really sort of triggers my ill behavior towards him.
Being short is not a disability. It's really not. I'm sorry, that's so annoying. They didn't say that the person was little. They just said the person was short. And if that's the case, that doesn't make them disabled. It just makes them short.
Because I do not know him. I went to school with him 22 years ago for 6 months, but I do not know him. So whenever I see him behave a certain manner around Athena, it really does send me into something that I do not enjoy. Also, because my father and my uncle are both very abusive men towards certain people, and that is also why I refuse to let them take me to see Athena, even though they were almost abusively, my father and my uncle, trying to force me into doing the wrong things that I should not do towards seeing my child.
Anything else, Adam?
That's it, Your Honor.
Okay, Jenna-Lee, do you have questions of Adam?
Yes. You're speaking of your father and your uncle not being good. Are they in your life right now?
No, I allow them zero access to Athena, and this is why they also try to meddle and do things that I know are wrong, and it does send me into almost like a nervous breakdown. I will admit to that, because I do not allow them to have any access to Athena, because that is a toxic parent system that I do not agree with.
When was the last time you saw your father?
It was when my father tried to pick me up and take me to your mother's, and I stopped him from doing that and had him take me back to Samantha, where Samantha was very, very worried about me because she did not want me around my father, because she understands we do not even let my father inside of the tattoo shop because we do not agree with his standpoints and the way that he addresses people in a public manner, where everybody inside of this shop should be treated as the same sort of human.
Yeah, you don't even know how bad it actually was, Salty. Like I said, I did some heavy editing on this one, and a lot of it was just cutting out the breaks in between his words. He's worse than Judge Hart was.
What date was that the last time? What date was that that you are referring to?
Saturday,
It was a Saturday,
December 30th.
so that would have made it December 30th.
Okay. Was your uncle involved as well?
Yes, he would insist on wanting to come into my tattoo shop, and I would not allow him to, because I do not wish for Athena to be around that sort of a person. And because of that, he has become very vindictive of me. And he is the one that actually was meddling with Samantha and telling her to send me to a hospital, which is rightfully so, because I have just been really distressed about just worrying about if she's okay, just like you would as well as a mother. And that's where I feel like we do have a common ground, and that's why I liked to use the tattoo shop as our common neutral ground to meet and be able to, because I knew that those men would not come in at that time.
Your Honor, am I, can I continue to ask questions, or is this just on the specific incident?
Well, you can ask him questions
Okay.
regarding his relationship with Athena.
Okay. Do you have a physical address? Do you have an apartment? Are you living in an apartment right now?
At the moment, we were. We are currently working with Gloria Homeyer in getting a residence, the same person that we rented before, because we understand that she inherited a lot of property that she cannot keep up with all at once sometimes. So we are still on a very positive relationship with Gloria that also rents the tattoo shop. And she is working with us to try to set us up with another residence that would be better for us. And she has given us a nice amount of timelines. And this is also why I have tried my best to respect you and Bob for this past month, to just let you guys, but at the same time, I did go and visit Athena 1 or 2 times at her daycare, just to continue to have a healthy mental health for myself, so that I could be strong for Athena, and so that I could get these things done with Gloria.
So I'm just a little confused. Okay. Do you have an apartment at this time?
Yes, it is in the works
That
with.
that has all of the utilities.
Yes.
Okay.
And we also do have this property, but it is not something that it's a long-term project. It's basically like a lake property. If in fact I would just have to have visitation, we are not intending on, it is more so like a 2 to 3 to 4 year project. We should have been a lot more communicative with you and Bob at that time as well. We've only taken Athena out there once or twice just to see how the commute would be. later on down the road, if we would want to go and we even have lake passes for the vehicles, if she would want, and if you ended up having her to where I only had her weekends, I could at least go and take her out to the lake, and have fun weekends with her. I'm also very willing to pay, and I've notified my insurance agent that I need to get life and health insurance, and also assist you in that as well, even if I have to pay half of what you've been having to pay as well.
So depending on the custody agreement, when Athena is with you, where will that be?
That will be at our apartment that we're in the process, but that is why we have also respected having this long of amount of a time to get it set up correctly this time, in order to respect both Gloria, respect you, respect Bob, respect Samantha, and make this move transition a lot more smooth. It was on a whole different time schedule, because a lot of things out here, it seems, takes a little bit longer to get set up. But with the way that we have operated with Gloria at this tattoo shop, and we really respect one another. She's more than willing to have us set up within, and she has properties that also are in a lot better conditions for our child, because we were noticing that Athena was even getting sick in the summertime. And then that's when we went down to the basement and saw that there was a little bit of mold down there, and that wasn't even really Gloria's fault. She had just inherited so many properties, and the overhead of handling them all at once, that was really no fault to her. So even right as we speak, I maintain the tattoo shop, and I even do the things for her, and I just put it in for my taxes. I don't make her even really. It's just part of us working together to help with what she needs to get done, to make everywhere that we are at a safe place. That also being, I have notified Gloria that I would not like my father or certain people coming around the tattoo shop.
What is the address of where you will be living with Athena?
For the time being, it will still be, but at that moment as well, we are talking with Gloria to get out of, because that environment was not well for us either, because we realized we couldn't have a bunch of space heaters, and we couldn't have a bunch of a business that's going down downstairs. The woman runs a business that we couldn't. She just had a lot of stuff going on at once, that we felt like even that place wouldn't be healthy for Athena. So because of that, we are in an actual process. We have the apartment, but we're in the process of getting a house with Gloria.
So currently 610 Main is not suitable for living.
I would not say not suitable. It is just the way the heaters, we had to wait about a month and a half to get the heat properly put in. And that was something that I felt like would not be something we should put Athena through on that sort of a timeline. So that is also why I have respected allowing and not interfering with anything with your choices you are making with Athena, and the way you are doing things with where you're living and how your situations are in your living. And I also respect Bob as well, in that same manner as well. I see that Bob is trying his best as well as I am trying my best. We just sometimes have conflictive because we don't know each other very well, you know, and we've known each other for a long time, but maybe for only 6 months in high school, you know, so that's where it was a little bit. I feel like we would all need maybe more. I would be fine with therapy of some sort. I've even reached out to places to do so, and I'm going through that at this time right now.
In this letter that you submitted to me and to the court, it states, staying with family and friends in town on school days. I would like to know who you are staying with and what, where and who you were staying with.
My friend Chloe.
Okay, look. Hey,
I have
hey, Samantha, you can't be writing answers for him. He needs to answer the questions, okay? So keep contact with the court and answer the questions, okay?
Okay, so some of my very first people that I have been working with and tattooing with and really have developed a healthy rapport with, I would consider them almost more like family and friends than the actual family that I was dealing with. The only time that I actually even had to deal with my uncle Dean was to request that I could put my RV where he was at, and when it did not work in such of a manner, that was when I had went to friends. I also even have receipts of us having to go to hotels because I did not want Athena to be around certain family.
Have I ever met Chloe?
I don't believe you have, but there was also times that I have not met certain people as well, but I have trusted you, and I've always trusted you in such a manner. That even goes for as with people in Kansas City. I've trusted you to be able to handle the things the way that you have, and it's a dynamic of four people trying to co-parent and needing to have a better communicative effort, which I myself even agree that sometimes if my family that I do not wish to be around tries to come around, it does send me into a distressed behavior.
You stated you stayed with Chloe. What family did you stay with?
That one time that I did stay with my uncle was simply to try to park my RV at his place because I did not want to park it at the tattoo shop because I felt like that would be disrespectful to Gloria, parking all of my vehicles at the tattoo shop. And I gave him one chance, and I didn't trust him at that point that he would not even let me park my RV at his place. So then that is when I had went to friends and to play people that I have worked on and known for over the whole 16-month period of being here, that I really knew that I even know her parents that run a business here on Main Street that are really more healthy people than my own family that I do not allow Athena to be around.
Where was this when you said you needed to stay with your Uncle Dean? Where?
It was in Gorham, Kansas, just a few blocks away from my father, which was also, I've only dealt with my father a handful of times since we've lived here. And I think you understand why that would be, because you've known how my father has been for a very long time. He's a pretty toxic, pretty abusive sort of male figure that Athena should not be around.
So this was in Gorham. Did Dean have an apartment or a house he was living at?
He did. And then that is where all I wanted to do was park my RV there because he was still in the process of remodeling it. and I had noticed that we should not stay there. We should much rather stay with the friends that we know we can trust. And he would not even let me park my RV there. So this is why I had to park all of my vehicles at my tattoo shop for.
It's just odd that his level of trusting someone is based on whether or not they allow him to park his RV on their property. And if they don't, then he can't trust them. I'm not sure I follow the logic.
A brief amount of time because I did not trust my uncle to be around Athena.
So this was parking in the RV to stay one night because you didn't want it parked at the tattoo shop. My question is, you were going to sleep in the RV that night?
No. I just did not want to have all of them parked on Main Street right in front of the courthouse and disrespecting a lot of people having all of my vehicles there. And it ended up being a problem where they almost towed the RV because I had it parked there for almost 2 weeks because I did not want it around my family. I didn't want it around people that I could not trust to even be taking care of Athena or myself.
When was this all taking place where you were staying with Chloe? You tried to park your RV with your Uncle Dean. And then it said, and then in this letter, it also, and you also stated you were staying in hotel rooms. When was all of this?
This was around early September, whenever we had discovered that the first home that we had became tenants here, we had never even really went down to the basement there because we were using a laundromat that's in town rather than the laundry downstairs. So when we did decide to go try to use the duplex laundry down there, we realized it was unsuitable for her to live there, because we noticed a lot of mold, and even ourselves and Athena being sick in a time where it was like summertime, almost summertime still. So then that is when we started having concerns that we should move. And then that is why we chose the tattoo shop as a very neutral ground to try to be able to meet and talk about it. And even at the parent teacher conferences, we tried to address that as well with the teachers more than 2 or 3 times, that we were in a moving transition, that we needed to find a place to be able to have our vehicles safely and at the same time be set up with the 610. Whenever we went to 610, we realized that it's a 1911 building that still needed a lot of work. And we did not want to put that much pressure on that person's building of their tenancy and how they were doing things. At that time, she had even agreed that we could do month to month while things were getting fixed, but it was almost on like a Russell infrastructure time, to where we had to wait a long time for certain things to come in, to get the heat right, to make it to where we weren't running 3 or 4 space heaters in the woman's building. And that is where we also realized there was a lot going on around that whole area of Main Street, that it would not be safe for Athena to be there either. And that being that, sometimes throughout the middle of the night, people would be driving 55, 65 miles per hour down the road, or late at night, or people would be doing that in a sense to where it would scare me that it was way too busy of an area of Russell, right in the middle of Main Street, and so much going on at one place that it did sort of give me more of a distressed behavior. Now, with the woman, I had never pushed her or anything. I was just trying to ask her what, and I was trying to ask her what was going on because there was a lot of screaming going on in the building but that is also not my business to ask. I also just realized that was not a very safe place. So that is when I had got back in touch with Gloria. I've really helped maintain the tattoo shop and the building with Gloria, and now Gloria is willing to work with me as well on she has other properties that we can afford at this point with.
I don't. Okay. I think he needs mental health issues addressed. I don't entirely dislike this guy. I think he's very simple. Very simple. But I don't like the allegations that were made that point to possible substance abuse. And he, talked about the toxicity with his family. And it makes me wonder if that was, kind of like the start of, like, maybe he relapsed, something like that. There had to have been a reason. But I think if he addressed his mental health issues, he might be a very good dad. He just needs to get his life together. He really needs to sort stuff out. But it does sound like he's really trying. I'll give him that. At least he had the sense not to have his daughter in a house that he found mold in. That I got to give him some credits. But on the same token, I do believe there's a lot he needs to address. And I'm not saying I'm not stepping on her side either. I think she's got her own bundle of issues to deal with.
Samantha and I both working. Samantha was working a better job now because for the first 6 months that she was here, she had a really hard time even finding a job. So I really feel like it was just a whole lot of, that's why we even wanted to start having group chats so that we could all be on a really much better communicative what's going on with things, because moving from one place to here and us having no footing in the area here at the same time having to handle everything with even just reestablishing all of both Samantha and our lives to be as consistent as we were in Kansas City, that took a toll on both of us together.
When you were just speaking, you don't feel like Athena, the tattoo shop, is safe because of people around and people speeding?
I'm talking about because it's more directly right in the middle of Russell. I feel like the tattoo shop is completely safe. Gloria placed us in a place where we're right across the street from a courthouse with a lot of people that I even work with within the Chamber of Commerce. And that is where I felt like the tattoo shop was a very safe, neutral ground to meet, discuss, everybody start being on a group chat together instead of individually speaking with one another and having miscommunications, things that is where I am completely willing to do any sort of therapy that we have to do, any sort of I'm completely willing to go into any kind of mediations. I'm completely willing to not have to do lawyers in the situation. And that's pretty much how I feel about that.
It is my understanding that, what is the address of your of the shop that you rent?
402 Main Street.
Is that
Russell.
very far? Is that very far from 610?
I would say it's about 2.5 blocks, but it's right across the street from a courthouse. It's right across the street from a lot of people I work with and I talk to and I know well. It's right across the street from where they have cameras pointed at my tattoo shop all the time. It's a lot more safe in that sense, and rather than 610. Now the place with Chloe is also fairly safe because her parents are business owners and within the area of Russell, and she had an apartment above their business as well. There was a much more safe, quiet, nice environment for Athena. Even if we had to only do it 2 to 3 times, and just in the move transition to figure out something more healthy for everyone. At the same time, I did do all the things I did with the property in Luray just to be able to have a place to, and it's already all taken care of. We've went through the process. It's paid for. It's basically, it was advertised as a lake property. So that way, if and so, a lot of times when you have let us know that we could have her just weekends, even back in Kansas City, if that was ever the case, we would be willing to work with you on all aspects and I almost try to cover all bases to try to work together and do this as Samantha and Bob and you and I, and just continue doing what we've been doing healthily. Now, this is the thing is where I don't know what's happened with 20 years with you here. You don't know what's happened with 20 years with Samantha and I in Kansas City. I really feel like that's where we should just go to straight into mediations and have really good communicative efforts with all 4 of us together to where we all feel like Athena is safe with whether it be 50-50, whether it be I'm paying in to help you with your healthcare benefits. I'm willing to do anything as Athena's father to work with you.
So when did you move out of the apartment you were living in? The last apartment that I knew you were living in, the apartment that I would pick Athena up at or drop her off. When did you move out of there?
That was at the very end of October or September. Yeah, it was at the end of September. Yeah.
End of September. Would you say that your living situation has been unstable since then?
Yes. And that's just because it's been difficult for us to have a living situation. I'm not trying to, I mean, it would just be just as difficult as if it was for you in Kansas City at times that I should have been more understanding of as well, you know? And that's where it's like, it's nobody's real problem or fault. We're just trying to all have a stable environment for Athena together, whether it be I'm not upset at Bob for a Halloween incident as he's might have taken it wrong with me. Maybe we just need to spend more time together to get to know each other. That sort of thing, you know? And that's where I feel like we should just go straight into a mediation and just talking with each other. Being more communicative.
I just have a few more questions, and then I think I'm about done. When we had Athena's parent-teacher conferences, and I do believe maybe a week or 2 prior, her teacher was telling us that she was doing very well. Well, I believe that you knew this information. Maybe you did not, but that she was doing very well in school, and that, you know, it could be time to transition to full-time school days, where instead of going till noon, she would go till 3 p.m. so she could do the further learning activities and things that they learn till 3. When we had the parent teacher conferences, they told all of us, you, myself, Samantha, and Bobby, that they felt she was doing very well, even in the social aspect of gaining friends, being more trusting, things like that, and really opening up in school. My question is, I voiced that I would like her to start to go till 3, and because I felt like, she was ready. My question is, what was the issue of not what was the issue on your part of not wanting her to go till 3 p.m.?
Because the first year of the daycare that we did here with Bright Minds, you and I both agree that they did a very bad job with her in that sense. We even both have the evidence of that, where Athena, you and I would both go and pick her up and she would be crying and distraught. So we felt like we didn't know that if it would be the same sort of transition, but now
That question that she asked took longer than his answers. Holy cows. Did that go on forever? That was crazy. Yes, he owns a tattoo shop. Yeah. And wow, did someone strike a nerve with Dolphins. You can tell whose side she's on. She does not like the mama. Not a bit. And y'all, real quick, sound the alarm. I'm officially out of Wake the Hell Up coffee from Palmyra. I'm on my last cup. This is it, guys. This is the last one. It was a good run.
now that we've gotten to really get to know these teachers, these providers here, we realize that it's a whole different situation than what Bright Minds was for us. And that's where I completely agree that even at that time, it's like by January 1st, I agreed completely. We should definitely put her into full time to start working on her socialization aspects. Not just her socialization aspects, just learning with adults, reading together, doing things like that. I felt like the first year that we were here, we had a rough time with the Bright Minds Academy. We would both agree with that. We still both have that sort of, there was times that Athena would be there from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening. That's great and fine, but the way the teaching system was there and the way there was a lot of kids in the building, but not enough staff. Now that I see that the childcare system that you have chose at this point was a lot better for Athena, I trust you about that. That's why I also said it would be an easier transition to just get a feel for how everything is going at this school. And once that I did have that realization, I was completely ready for her to go full time. And I was on that same page with you and Bob as well. I just had to see that at the conference. And I was completely convinced by that time that, yeah, by January 1st, we could definitely have her doing full time and being around kids in a more healthy manner, more individualization, better staffing for her, and I agree with all of you at that point.
Where is the child attending school?
It is early childhood.
Okay. Any additional questions?
No,
Okay. And generally, do you have any rebuttal evidence you want to put on?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, who would you like to testify?
What is that?
Who would you like to testify?
To testify, I would like Samantha Unrein and Bobby Rohr as witnesses to this recording.
Hang on. So Samantha, you're still under oath. Go ahead and ask her questions.
We just wanted to play a recording.
Oh, sorry. I would just like to play a recording of Saturday the 30th, and to submit basically to the courts of why I am worried for Athena to for Adam to resume care at this time.
Lay your foundation for the recording. Where was this made? Who made it? Who was there?
The recording was made the night that Samantha had called and let me know that Adam was not stable and that she was worried Adam was going to come take Athena and that it was not safe for that to happen.
Okay, we've heard testimony about that. What is the recording going to add?
The recording is Samantha, it is us talking with her on the phone while we were going to go check on her in the hotel room. She was worried for her safety. I believe I had told her to lock. What?
She said she wasn't scared.
Oh,
Nothing.
Well,
The
she
recording won't add anything beyond testimony, Your Honor.
Okay,
the recording won't add anything beyond testimony.
okay, the testimony of the parties has adequately discussed the recording? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other evidence you want to put forward?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Adam, any additional evidence you want to put forward at this time?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, keep in mind, this is just for temporary orders. This is just the beginning of your case, okay? So what I understand from the testimony is that, Adam, you're in the process of obtaining an apartment or a place to stay, but right now you are in transition. And
Yes, sir.
you're not staying any place right now. Okay, so that being the case, both parents can make decisions for the child, joint decisions regarding going to school, and it sounds like you're in agreement with one another. But temporarily, I'm going to place residential custody with Jenna Lee. So you both still make major decisions for the child, but the child is going to reside with Jenna Lee. Now let's talk about visitation, okay? Jenna Lee, what is your proposal for visitation?
I would like Adam and Samantha to see Athena as much as possible, considering as long as it is safe. I guess I would propose right now just every other weekend, as long as there's a safe place they're living, or as long as there's a safe place for her to stay with them. And yeah, and Adam feels and Adam and Samantha feel comfortable with that.
We do.
Good.
We could even maybe do we just only have weekends, not every other, and then that way we can just do our schedule for our business to where Athena doesn't even have to be around our business, and then we could just have just weekends, and then you and Bob could, or however you want to do that. We're willing to do whatever you guys would like to do, just to remain being building a good co-parenting relationship between the four of us.
Okay. Sounds like you're talking about weekend visitation, and that would normally be every other weekend.
Yeah, we could do
Okay.
that.
So the court will agree with that under this provision. Adam, you need to have a place for her to stay that meets all the requirements, heated in the wintertime, running water, bathroom facilities and a safe environment. So
Yeah.
where you're staying, where you're proposing for the visitation, Jana can walk through and make sure it's safe.
Definitely, definitely. We can have that set up very soon as well, Your Honor, because now that we've been in the Russell and Ellis County area for this long of nearly 16 months, we have really built a healthy rapport with our community, and we can definitely do that for Jenny and Bob and be completely willing to work with all of it, and Samantha, my wife, as well. We can all do that together and set our differences aside and just focus on the importance.
Again, I appreciate all those comments, but we're setting temporary orders, so let's stay
Okay.
focused.
Okay.
So on the visitation, we're looking at every other weekend. Generally, you'll walk through to make sure it's a safe place for her to spend the weekend.
Okay.
Okay. What is your exchange time?
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Friday, Saturday?
on Friday. Well,
Didn't we talk about him picking her up from school Friday?
yes. So this is what I would propose. As long as I can walk through and make sure they have a safe place to live, I would propose that he pick Athena up at 3 p.m. at her school on Fridays, and then drop her off, or every other Friday, and then drop her off here at our house at 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Adam,
Yes, sir.
does that sound appropriate?
Yes. As long as we could do the same with Bob's residence as well. They have never even allowed us inside of his residence.
To walk through and make sure it's safe?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's fine. Adam can walk through and make sure it's safe for Athena, okay? And you have sufficient transportation, Adam?
Yes, sir.
All the necessary car seats, etc.?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can pick the child up at 3 p.m. on Friday, return her 3 p.m. Sunday?
Yes, sir. Your Honor.
And what weekend are we starting? This coming?
That would just as long as there's a residence for me to look at as soon as we can.
Okay.
Well, we
I
can
agree.
start then this weekend, 1/12 of 24. Adam, you're gonna need to let Jenny know where you're staying so she can walk through and make sure it's safe.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. And again, this is temporary. These are not your final orders.
Okay.
Okay? And then every other weekend thereafter, pending final.
I agree.
Do we have any agreement regarding child support?
We've never really done that. We've alternated even on claim years for taxes. We've never really
That
done.
sorry. That will be proposed with the next hearing. I'm not prepared for that right now.
Okay, so today we're just dealing with the visitation and custody issue.
Yes.
Okay, and you agree, Adam?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you continue to have joint custody, but residential custody will be with Jana Lee.
I
Okay.
agree, Your Honor.
Okay, anything further we need to accomplish today?
No, Your Honor.
Anything further, Adam?
No.
Okay, the court will prepare an order to that effect. Okay, now we need to talk about how we're gonna go forward, okay? Is this a situation where you're wanting to mediate or you're wanting to have a hearing?
I would rather go into mediation and just figure out what we need to do to everybody, provide for everybody, and us understand how Bob is living, and then they also understand how we're living.
Hey, Jenna Lee.
Your Honor, I guess I don't know the difference between going into mediation versus having another court hearing.
A mediation is where you sit down with a trained mediator and you see if you can come to an agreement on the issues. A court hearing is much like what we've just had. You'll subpoena your necessary witnesses, you'll put the evidence in front of the court, and then you'll have the court decide.
I would like to enter into mediation.
Okay.
Yeah, the checking out the residence thing entirely comes from the fact that the dad and his wife were living in an RV situation for a little while, while the issues were addressed in the apartment. And they didn't like that they had a compost toilet and things like that. I mean, personally, as long as there's a facility for the child to use, I don't care if it's a compost toilet. As long as you're not making the child go behind a bush or somewhere in public, you know. But that's hillbilly me, as Paul Myra calls me. I grew up, my uncle had an outhouse, and honestly, it's still an outhouse. There is no city plumbing to that farmhouse. My uncle's passed, and now my cousin owns it. But there's still an outhouse. It makes family gatherings there a lot more interesting. But yeah, I'll do red carpet story time and tell you about it later.
Okay. What the court will do is provide you each with a list of 3 people who do the mediation. If you can agree on who, do we still have you, Jenny?
Sorry,
You're still hearing?
I'm
Let's see.
I'm back on, Your Honor.
Okay. So what we would do is we would get you a list of 3 mediators and see if the 2 of you can agree on who you want to do the mediation. And then you'd have to make the arrangements and do your mediation. And then if it works, great. If it doesn't work, then you need to set up your court hearing.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll get you a list of some people who do that.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. Anything else at this time?
Nothing further.
Adam?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Keep in mind that your goal is to make sure Athena grows up healthy and happy. Okay, so make sure you focus on that.
Absolutely.
Do what's in her best interest, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that hearing was interesting. And like I said, I don't think Dad is a bad guy at all. I think his family is toxic and drive him to behaviors that if he wasn't around them, he probably wouldn't exhibit. So good on him for trying to pull away from his family. Because not all family is meant to be together. And I think both parties would do well to ex-nay their spouses or partners out of the immediate making of decisions, I think that's throwing too much of a curveball in, parent the child together, get your significant other's input. Absolutely. Talk through it with your significant other, but especially in a court hearing when you have the other partner on your shoulder, like breathing into your ear or writing notes down to tell you what to say. That's not coming together to resolve issues in the best interest of the child. It's making it harder. So yeah, that's just my opinions on it. Thank you, Chef Gus. I appreciate that. All right. And I know y'all had there was somebody who mentioned it just the other day, actually, that they were watching videos and they were hoping for the update to Father Fights for Case. And I got that update today. So, again, I did the editing. And some of this is going to be a surprise to me. I did watch through parts of it as I edited it. That's a hard word to say. Edited it. I think it was the edited and the it together. Edited it. Wow. Have some more, April. It's really just coffee. I swear. I promise you. It is just coffee. I just can't brain at the moment. Oh, I hope you come back, Salty. I love you. And that is awesome, Deanna. That is absolutely awesome. And that's what you hope for. That is what you hope for your child, is that they get a bonus parent, not a meddling one. And, you know, we're not right there with them. So it could be different than, you know, the short little snippet of their lives that we see. But, you know, from an outsider looking in, those are just some observations. I am showing that tonight. Oh my gosh, you guys. So when I edit, and I showed this to Emily too. She thought this was funny. So I've got my two laptops, and very often I have both going at the same time. That's also how I acquire court clips and edit cases at the same time. And I have both audios going. It drives my kid nuts. But like, I have my brain tuned to, you know, hear addresses or hear South Sit Talk or stuff like that, you know. So yeah, I'm not perfect about it, but I run both at the same time so I can get twice as much done so that I can show you guys enough stuff. I mean, how else am I going to get 8 hours worth of work done in 4, you know? Brian Boggs, congratulations on something, and I don't know what yet. Let me go see. It's got to be good. Oh, good job. Congratulations. I've seen you mention winning a lot before. You must be one lucky dude. Give me some of that luck. I need luck. Luck and love. That's what I need. I saw both Emily and Lisa had put my my info in the chat. Shane was asking for the Amazon link. So I saw the Cash App and Venmo and PayPal and the Amazon link all got posted in there. It's also in the description of the video. So I am monetized now. Yay. That's why you all can be members. I did find out today, though, that when you hit your payment threshold, the minimum amount you need before they'll pay you, it then goes into nearly 1 month holding, basically. So I still have a month before I see any of that. So if any of you are considering throwing me a super chat and you have the ability of Cash App or Venmo or PayPal, if you just for the time being could still possibly consider that, I would be very appreciative. It would really help. So, and I'm not saying anybody has to, but if you were already thinking, that you wanted to send a super chat, consider the Cash App option, please. Help me hide from the tax man. No, just kidding. Kinda. They do. Yeah. They take a chunk. So, but and that's kind of, I love Cash App. Yeah. I know. I was so excited. I thought it would be like Uber when I worked for them, where you could cash out at any time, It's not. I'm still exceptionally grateful. I'm over the moon grateful just to be monetized at all. And that you guys show me the love that you do. I am so thankful. It's, I was stupidly kind of counting on that, on, what I did have available, and and then I found out it's not available for a month. So just YouTube things. You learn as you go, right? I really loved it. But with the narcolepsy, I was sleeping in parking lots in between runs, and it got very dangerous for me and the passengers. When your driver is completely sober, but your drunk ass could drive better than them, there's a problem. So yeah, I couldn't do it. Yeah, but I did love it, mostly because I love the people. That's always my favorite part. People. Hanging out with you guys is the best part of this job. Absolutely, hands down. When I waitressed, my customers were the best part of my job. When I did IT tech support, I would make house calls after I clocked out to go help people with their tech issues because I loved the people. So anywhere that I get to, enjoy another person's company, that is the best part for me. That's what I love. 100%. Yeah, that spare million that everybody's got laying around. Why not? Why not? Thanks, Letha May. That's hilarious. I love it. I love it. I love it. No fair. No fair. I only get to see beautiful pics of them on the Discord. But doggos are amazing. Love doggos. All right. I am going to put the clip on now. Emily, you're too cute. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness. I don't know if it's the storm or what. Okay, there we go. Whew.
We are bringing there are some waiting, and Missy Atwood is here. I think she's here on behalf of St. David's. There's a Jennifer Van Winkle that's here, and I think is Mr. Smith also a witness? Maybe so. So I maybe need to put him back in the waiting room as well. I'm going to do that.
And Miss Weeds is very obviously attempting to record the hearing again. Someone should really teach her that if you mute the second device, it won't cause that feedback.
Mr. Smith, if you can hear me, I'm going to put you back in the waiting room until it's your turn to testify.
Okay, thank you.
So who else do I need? Your client, I don't see, Mr. Gilbreth.
Yeah, I was just texting with had my office call him to see if he's having trouble or.
So are these people you called, Missy Atwood, David Smith, and Jennifer Van Winkle?
My understanding is I think they all may be lawyers, maybe Mr. Smith isn't. But there are subpoenas issued for, if you remember, Mom was supposed to upload some hospital records and medical records, which she hasn't done. So I subpoenaed some custodians.
Okay, so hold on, Miss. You have too much. I muted you because I'm getting an echo from wherever you are, but now it sounds a little better. These are people who are here because you subpoenaed records, you think, Mr. Gilbreth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So we just need to wait for your client. Do you have a paralegal who we need to wait on?
No, I think Ms. Glick is out today. So, and I'm trying to have somebody from my office call.
Judge, is there any way before we present that I could request for a continuance? I was in the hospital just Saturday evening, late Sunday into early morning Sunday. And yes, I have not been able to successfully upload the documents, but I've been suffering from illness in Montgomery County, Texas, and would just appreciate another week or so, a week or two, to get back to Travis County and get all of the information uploaded, even if I have to take it to Mr. Gilbreth's office.
Well, maybe we do that, Ms. Weed, but what I really want to do right now is I need to get an update about how things went through the holiday season. We have these 3 lawyers here who are here for subpoenaed records. We got to take care of that business. And so after we take care of that business and after we get through all of that, which won't take terribly long, then I'll listen to your continuance motion. But we've had to, there are other people here right now, and we need to take care of that business. And then we'll come back to whether or not we come back again because of a medical condition. And I understand that. I don't want to be, uncaring about it, but we do have to take care of these other people who have shown up this morning, I think, under subpoena, and we have to deal with them.
Can I speak just really quick on that?
Yeah. Well, we are on the record, so yeah, you can speak on it, but go ahead.
Right. So my client actually has been really stressing out today because he has a job training that starts today. Right. And he's trying to balance that. He's starting a new job. It's okay if he not log on right now.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Especially it sounds like y'all are both going to coordinate on something, probably, given his need to be somewhere else today and Ms. Weed not feeling well. But I think we just need to bring in these people at least, Mr. Gilbreth. And
it sounds like he kind of took the judge's comment as a dig at the fact that his client wasn't quite here yet. That was funny.
Understand what their records situation is. We got to at least do that business. Okay. So then we won't wait on your client. Miss Weed is here. I can't remember if I met with the daughter and then told y'all about it, or if I met with the daughter after we were finished, but we have done that in the meantime. I know.
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I didn't interrupt.
No, go ahead.
So we actually started with you. We did openings. You spoke to the daughter. You didn't tell us what she had said. But then we presented with Mr. Weed testified, Mom reserved her cross, and you had a few folks from the school testify.
That's right. Yeah, I just couldn't remember when I had met with the daughter in the timeline. If that had happened after we had something, but it sounds like we did it during the middle of it almost. So All right. Well, then, Ms. Weed, I hope that makes sense with what we're going to do here. We're going to bring in these subpoenaed people at least, and at least get their records maybe, and then go from there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and go on the record with the court reporter. And I will say, this is Judge Amy Clark Meacham. We are in the middle of a continuation of a final bench trial that started in December. It is the Weed matter. It's FM-19-6907. We've already started this case. We've had witnesses. We're in the middle of it. But because we weren't able to finish, we needed to give everybody time to put on their case. We reset it for today. Why don't we go ahead and make announcement of who is here, and then we'll move to pulling in some subpoenaed documents, I think, and the lawyers that are here on behalf of those non-parties. Go ahead, Mr. Gilbert.
I'm Jake Gilbreth. I represent Justin Weed, who is the petitioner.
And then Miss Weed, if you would, make your announcement.
Carrie Nicole Weed, I'm pro se.
And off the record a minute ago, Ms. Weed is asking for continuance this morning, which I'm going to hear, and we might even reach some sort of agreement to, but we need to talk about how we're going to do that. Before we do that, we have several people here in the waiting room, and I believe they're lawyers, one of whom is actually here in person. I know we've given her a office to set up with, but because we decided to do this by Zoom and she didn't know that. So we have 3 people here, and I'm going to tell Mr. Gilbert, let's call them in one by one. But here's who we have. We have Missy Atwood here, and I believe she told our deputy that she's here on behalf of St. David's. And then there's somebody named David Smith. I'm not for sure who he is. And then there's another person named Jennifer Van Winkle. And so why don't we do it one by one, Mr. Gilbert?
Yes, ma'am. Could we do Miss Atwood first? I told her I've had a chance to briefly speak with her.
Yeah, let me bring her in. Hi, Miss Atwood. There she is. Thank you for being here this morning. I'm here too. Just so you know, I know we saw our deputy then set you up with one of our conference rooms. So thank you for being here. Just so you know, we are on the record. We are on Zoom. We're in the middle of a bench trial in a family court case. So we heard this. We started it back in December. We've continued it until this morning. We may continue it again, but we wanted to bring in the lawyers that were here on behalf of subpoenaed parties, documents, witnesses, I'm not entirely sure, and just make sure we don't have to inconvenience you later, even if we do continue it. So just so you know who's here, Mr. Gilbreth represents the father in this matter, and then Ms. Weed is the mother, and she represents herself. She is not feeling well, so she is not on camera. But Mr. Gilbreth, why don't you proceed with whatever it is that you're here to do with Miss Atwood's client?
Yes, ma'am. So I subpoenaed the custodian of records for St. David's. I'll show you the exhibit. If you have a chance, if you guys could share screen, Your Honor.
Yes, I just gave you the privilege to do so.
So mom had been ordered to produce records from petitioners 31. There's kid records. My understanding, talking to Miss Atwood, who's been very nice and accommodating, speaking to me this morning, that there are records. She has records from my client for St. David's. Obviously not interested in those. I think for there some time ago. I don't think there's any records for the children. And that's what mom had represented. There is a record for St. David's, South Austin, 4/27/2023 is what mom says. And my understanding from Miss Atwood is there may be records from mom from St. David's, which I had subpoenaed. I unfortunately had to subpoena the custodian of records because Miss Weed being pro se, normally I would just get an agreement that they're authenticated, or I'd have them cleared up well before final trial. But this is where we're at, just given the nature of things. When I saw that the records weren't being uploaded, I kind of had to fire off a subpoena. And so Miss Atwood, I think she filed a motion to quash. Obviously, her client can't just give me the records to Miss Weed's medical records. She doesn't have a HIPAA release from Miss Weed. And so I would request that the custodian, and hopefully we can have an agreement that they're authenticated, but that the custodian be authorized by the court or ordered by the court under HIPAA to be able to release the records for mom. But just from that one visit from April 2023.
Okay, before I hear from Miss Atwood, let me hear from Miss Weed. Miss Weed, do you have any objection? I mean, these have been, we've ordered you to produce already these exact records. And so do you have any objection to them being produced at this?
I do not, and I did send them back in December to Mr. Gilbreth and I believe it was Logan, but have not been able to upload them just successfully. So I do not have an objection to that.
Well, whichever the answer is, it sounds like we've got the no objection to them. So Miss Atwood, what do you need from us to turn over the records?
So Judge, I either need a signed authorization from Ms. Weed, or I need an order from the court to the hospital to turn them over. And it must under HIPAA specify a particular purpose. So for the purpose of this trial, you know, would work.
So can you, Mr. Gilbreth, work with Miss Atwood about the proper form of that order and then get me the form to sign? I mean, I think it sounds like Miss Weed would do an authorization, but we've had some issues with that thus far. So I think let's just move to the order. I want to do it once, Mr. Gilbreth. So if you'll work with Miss Atwood on the form and make sure I have the proper form, and then I will sign it, and hopefully Miss Atwood has what she needs.
Yes, ma'am.
And just to be clear, that's for April, what was the date? April 27th, correct?
Well, I guess I'd like the order to say any hospital records from 2023. Mom represents, and my understanding is that's just the April, but I would limit it just so it's not overly broad, but to 2023.
Well, that's not what was just stated.
Well, but that's what we've ordered previously. So it's just now we know that there's one record specifically. Mr. Gilbert didn't know that until he went out and found them on his own. So I will go ahead and order all of 2023. It might just be there's only the one record, but it will be all of 2023.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll work with Miss Atwood. We'll have an order to you by today.
Okay, thank you, Miss Atwood. Sorry to drag you down here on a rainy morning, but you're excused.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
So she's done. And then now we have two other people. I'm not for sure either of us know for sure who they are. David Smith and Jennifer Van Winkle.
Jennifer Van Winkle is with Baylor Scott and White. So if we could,
I'll bring her in. She's a lawyer as well, we think.
That's my understanding.
Hi, Miss Van Winkle. This is Judge Amy Clark Meacham. You've been, I think you're here in the capacity as a non-party witness representative. I want to just tell you a little bit of table setting of what we're here on. We're here in a final trial, a final bench trial in a family court case. It involves a custody matter. Mr. Gilbreth represents the father in that matter, and Ms. Weed represents herself. That's Miss Carrie Weed. She is not feeling well, and so she is not on camera. But our understanding is that your client might have been subpoenaed for some records, and you're here in that capacity. Is that right?
Yes, I'm the custodian of records for Baylor Scott and White.
Are you a lawyer or are you the custodian?
I'm the custodian.
Thank you. So, Mr. Gilbreth, do you want to ask her some questions? How do you want to do this? Have you even seen the documents yet or no?
I haven't, because my understanding, but she can obviously speak to herself.
Yeah.
For herself.
So then why don't you want to do some basic questions then? I'll swear her in and you want to do some basic questions, or do you just want to ask her some questions off the record? How do you want to do it?
If we could ask her some questions off the record.
Yes. All right, Ms. Van Winkle, I'm going to go off the record with my court reporter at this time. So we're off the record, but we're still being live streamed because that's how we handle our business when we're in the middle of a hearing. And so, but before we call you as a witness, or maybe we don't even need to, I think Mr. Gilbert's going to ask you some informal questions, and then Ms. Weed might ask you some informal questions just because we have you here, and then we'll figure out where we go from there. Go ahead, Mr. Gilbert.
So, Ms. Van Winkle, in response to the subpoena that you got, were there any records that were responsive that y'all were able to gather?
Yes. Yes. Our ROI vendor sent those over on Friday.
Okay. In my understanding, actually now reading through the messages and everything, was that via mail, regular mail, or how did y'all send those?
They were going to send those via FedEx to you so that you would have those on Friday.
Okay.
Since
And-
this became a Zoom, that's why they sent those via FedEx.
Is there anything additional that's needed as far as authorization from mom or court order or anything like that? Or were y'all able to release with the subpoena?
The last I heard on Friday late afternoon was that there needed to be a release of information from mom.
Is that for y'all to release records pertaining, like, I guess let me sort of figure out which records there are. The records that y'all did send, did any of them have to do with mom or they just have to do with the children and dad?
Dad and children.
Okay. Do you all have records concerning mom?
Yes, and we needed a release of information late on Friday.
Okay. And
Yes.
a court order. And also y'all could have a
Yes.
court order, right?
Yes.
Then that's the information I needed.
Okay.
Your Honor. So if we could talk logistics, I guess.
Yeah,
on the
let's
record,
go
if we
back
could-
on the record. We'll just do what we did with St. David's right now with Baylor Scott and White. So let's go back on the record, Ms. Roccanelli. We have the custodian of records here, Jennifer Van Winkle from Baylor Scott and White. We have had some difficulty, Ms. Weed. I know you have said, Ms. Weed, that you have been either producing these records or trying to upload them, as well as trying to get them to Mr. Gilbreth, but his office has obviously had some problems getting them. So same thing with Baylor Scott and White. Are you okay, Ms. Weed, with having them also turn over records related to you in the year 2023?
Yes, please be okay with it, Miss Weed. And please mute your second recording device.
Absolutely. And both of my children were also seen at Baylor Scott and White. So if that's, something that they're requesting, then absolutely, like anything and everything.
So,
White is the point. So yes.
so the same thing is, Ms. Van Winkle, I'm going to sign an order. Mr. Gilbreth is going to prepare it, and perhaps he will call you and ask, or call a lawyer that you work with the organization, because I want the form to be correct, because we've had some difficulty with just logistically with Ms. Weed, who represents herself, just not being able to get things done. And so I'm going to do an order that's going to order Scott and White, Baylor Scott and White, to produce these records. Rather than going the medical authorization route, we're going to go the court order route, because we sort of, that at this point, logistically, is going to be easier. So, Mr. Gilbreth, you can get me an order. It'll be the same similar form as the St. David's order, which is just going to be all of Ms. Weed's records for 2023. If for some reason you look at the kids' records and the kids' records don't have everything that you think is there, I can also order that, but it sounds like they've already been produced to Mr. Weed.
Right. And he'd be able to sign a authorization as well. So I think I'll just have it encompass mom's records, and I'll take care of that along with the other one.
Okay, then I don't think we need anything from Ms. Van Winkle unless you feel like you need something at this time.
No, I'm sorry. That would be directed to me. No, I don't need anything.
All right, so Ms. Van Winkle, that's it from us. Just look for, actually, the only thing you might need, Mr. Gilbreth, you might need a direct line to Ms. Van Winkle.
I do have that. I believe we have her email.
Okay, good. Well, then he has your email. He'll send you that. I'm going to sign off on an order ordering you to produce it. It's going to be all of Ms. Weed's records for the year 2023.
Okay.
Ms. Weed, where have you been in hospital over the weekend? Do we need to put 2024 also?
You're welcome to do so. This was at Houston Methodist, which I've been seen at before, as well as Memorial Hermann in Houston. And
well then it wouldn't work. I don't think that's Baylor Scott and White.
No, I'm sorry, not as it pertains to Baylor Scott and White.
Thank you. Okay, I have nothing else for you at this time, Ms. Van Winkle. Thank you for being here. You are excused.
All right. Thank you so much.
And then the last person we have is Mr. Smith, and we'll figure out who he is. Let's well, let me bring him over on the record first, and then we might do the same thing we just did. All right. Good morning, Mr. Smith. We are on the record and we are broadcasting on YouTube. Just so you know, logistically where we are, you're here today as part of a final trial in a custody matter. And Mr. Gilbreth represents the father, and Carrie Weed is the mother, and she represents herself. She's not on screen because she hasn't been feeling well. But we might have some questions for you. The first thing I'm going to do while we're still on the record, and then we're going to go off the record for a second, is ask you who you're here on behalf of this morning.
I'm here on behalf of San Marcos, Hayes County EMS.
All right, San Marcos, Hayes County EMS. So before we ask you we may not even need questions on the record. I'm going to go off the record, and Mr. Gilbreth, who I think subpoenaed those records, is going to ask you some questions. So let's go off the record at this time, and Mr. Gilbreth, proceed informally.
Yes, Mr. Smith, I appreciate you being here. In response to our subpoena, did y'all have any records pertaining to carry weed?
I got the subpoena Friday morning. I sent that off to the records department to have it researched, and I haven't heard back as of this morning yet from them.
If y'all do have records, I'll represent to you that she said that let me make sure I have the date right, that she said that she had been transported by Hayes County, or treated by San Marcos EMS on May 10th of last year. If there are records, would y'all need a court order or an authorization from her to be able to release those records?
No, we still have your subpoena. So if any records turn up, they should be fulfilling that subpoena and getting those to you.
And would do y'all typically do that via flash drive or box link, or how do y'all do that?
I have a third party company that does our billing stuff, and they take care of it. Their actual process, I am not sure, but we don't get many direct requests, so it must be working pretty good.
And in my office, I'm sorry, I don't have my assistant on. My office has been able to get in. They have your contact information, right?
They should, yes, sir.
Okay. And that's all I had, Your Honor, for Mr. Smith.
Do you want to do anything on the record, or do we not need anything, you think?
I don't think we need a court order, and
Okay.
my understanding. So no, I don't think we'll need a court order for him.
All right, then we are going to excuse you, Mr. Smith. We don't need anything from you on the record. I think it's Mr. Gilbreth has a direct line of communication with you, and so I don't think we need anything else from you this morning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, then let me just go on the record now. And what we have this morning is we just excused the last non-party representative who was here. It sounds like if there are records, he is willing to produce them from Ms. Weed. And if not, for some reason, and we need to do the order again, Mr. Gilbreth will do the order for the third non-party. I think that would also work, because I don't think Ms. Weed's objecting to it so much as logistically having a difficult time uploading them for you to see them. So Ms. Weed's asking for continuance. It sounds like your client also has some conflicts today. Is that correct, Mr. Gilbreth?
It is.
So I'm okay to reset this. I have some limitations on my schedule because I'm not on family right now. And so we're gonna have to pick a date, and we can do that off the record. But while we're still on the record, I did an interim order, and I wanted to make sure before we did continue it further that we know what's going to happen in the interim, and that I just check in and make sure everything went okay with the kids over the holiday season. So let me hear from you first, Mr. Gilbreth.
I mean, I just have, obviously, with the child reports, I was going to ask Mom if we had testimony today of whether or not she asked Kendall or kind of grilled Kendall on her interview with you. My understanding, although I guess most pertinent is my understanding is that, but Miss Weed, obviously, with the one that had the knowledge of this, is that she's no longer living with the gentleman that she was with. That I think she can speak to it, but my understanding is that she would testify that she no longer.
They did do their
48-hour
visit with Mom. I guess that's more what I was asking. They went.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody played nice with each other. It sounds like your client might have a problem with some of the things that Ms. Weed might have asked the child about, but in general, the interaction went without any sort of police or CPS or we did it, basically.
We did it.
Maybe not without some issues, but it was done.
Correct.
Ms. Weed.
Yes, that is true, without issues.
And did you, you're having some medical issues, even under your attestation of the world. You are struggling health-wise, is that correct?
That is not untrue.
I mean, what are you, what are you still wanting in this case? Like, what are your end goals here? Have you had thoughts about that? Given the struggle you've had?
Struggles I've had regardless, I don't feel like there's been like a material change in a substantial material change in what I'm able to deliver to my children.
Well, you aren't even living with another person now. So what if under your care, what would have happened this past weekend when you went to the hospital, and if the children had been with you?
I mean, I have family members that I could call upon if necessary. But
in Houston?
Yes, ma'am. My mother lives in Conroe, yes.
Are you living with your mom?
No, I am not.
Where are you living right now?
I'm looking to actually relocate back to the Austin area, and basing that decision dependent strongly upon my conversation with Kendall and schooling, and kind of the last place that we were most happy was Spicewood area before moving out here during the pandemics.
Oh, y'all know she grilled the daughter on what she said to the judge. You know that happened.
So I'm taking a lot of, the outcome that would, I guess, bring us the most success and kind of the friendship and support that we would be offered, but what she desires also.
All right. So it sounds like she's still seeking the same things legally, Mr. Gilbert. I just wanted to understand where Ms. Weed, a little bit, Ms. Weed. I'm not holding you to any of that because I know you're asking for continuance. That wasn't official, but I think just to even reset this, we have to kind of figure out what we're going to do, Mr. Gilbert, even until the time we reset it. So we might have to do interim orders, basically like we did again, another interim order Band-Aid that does another kind of weekend visit for mom, kind of the same way we did it the last time, maybe a similar setup. Is that something we could do, Mr. Gilbert?
I mean, I guess I'd want to know more about, what kind of mom, where she's currently at. I mean, does she have anywhere to stay and for the visit to be at? And then just kind of what is going on, without prying too much, what's going on health-wise, right? If she's
I think that's fair, Miss Weed. I mean, this is done. You're asking for the continuance based on your health. But I may be putting words in your mouth too, because by the way, you're not right now. If we do it, the kids are with Dad and Miss Tanner. And so I'm not going to be able to just do this whenever it works for you guys. Like, I have a full calendar and I got to set things at what works for me. So you don't just get to reset at your next available date. You reset at my next available date that you happen to both be available for too. And I'm thinking, just so you know what I think that date is for me, is
that date is on my calendar.
February 5th.
I'm more than grateful to make that work. And just to answer your question,
Well, hold on, let me hear if it works for Mr. Gilt. He's really busy too. And so I got to see if he's available that day.
I will make it work. It's day one of a jury trial, but if somebody else has to do the voir dire, or I'll make it work.
Well, I call the jury trial too, so maybe I can make it work where the voir dire is one of our Tuesday panels, and so then you're only missing pretrial. But just remind me when I call the docket.
Yes, ma'am.
I just know I don't have a jury trial that week, is why I'm setting you that week, because I know the calendar and nobody else does. Don't think it's something that you know that nobody else does. I just happen to know because I make it. So I know I don't have a jury trial that week, and I know who does. And so I'm available on February 5th. So if it works for you guys, and then it sounds like you have a case that's set for a jury trial that week, and I'll make it work to where you have a Tuesday start, or at least a Tuesday panel. You might miss pretrial, but you wouldn't miss voir dire. So we'll reset this on February 5th. But then the question is, Miss Weed, I mean, right now you wouldn't see your kids until February 5th.
Is there any way to enter interim orders as you suggested? I would be so grateful to spend more time with my kids. I don't want to put it off and it create more of not tension, but I just don't want to put
Sure.
more space.
Well, that's what I was suggesting. I understand that. So I was suggesting between now and February 5th, doing what we did over the holiday, where we did one visit for 48 hours in the manner in which we did it before. I hope that worked. It sounds like it mostly worked. It sounds like it might have some big issues, but I also think though, Mr. Gilbreth's questions are fair. Before we do that, we need to know where you're going to be, because there is some history of this case of you having your kids in a car for a little bit and not having a place. So where physically are you? What is your physical address? And do you have transportation?
My physical address, as far as I mean, right now I do not. I'm in a hotel right now. When Kendall was here, when Kendall and Case were here, I had just moved out of Mr. Morgan's residence. So the last thing I wanted to do was confuse the issue of taking them to that house. Kendall requested that we stay with my mom, and I was completely happy to satisfy her comfort levels. So we ended up staying at my mom's house for the entire weekend. And had we not, staying at the hotel, I had leased a vehicle. And right now, yes, I'm leasing vehicles, but I have reasons for that. I'll be in Travis. I don't have a definitive address for you at this moment, but in the next week or two, before that visit occurs,
then right this second, the kids are starting back at school, then I'm not going to order any visits. We'll reset it on February 5th, but the situation is too, I think, uncertain, and we don't have enough, you don't feel well this morning, you're not prepared to testify. I think we can't at this time not know where they're going or who they're going to be with or how they're going to get there. That's too many variables. I'm very empathetic to your situation, Ms. Weed, but you need to get better. And we need to try again on February 5th to maybe some orderly visitation that makes sense. And we'll figure that out. But anyway, at this time, we aren't going to do visits. We're going to change it on February 5th, Ms. Weed. No one's saying you won't be able to see your kids anymore. I just want to give you a chance to get your feet under you, feel better, figure out more stable situation, and then we'll deal with kid visits at that point. But right now, we're going to reset this till February 5th. Mr. Gilbreth, you're just going to get me some very basic interim orders. I don't even really know that we need any, but contemplate very basic.
Yes,
And I'm putting it all on the record. And then I'll see you the same way February 5th. Ms. Weed, let me say this, because we've now had 3 months. We've been dealing with this for months and months and months, if not a full year. If you're going to do exhibits and witnesses, I need them by February 2nd. Ms. Raccanelli, you have her email. She has communicated with you numerous times. I understand you weren't feeling well and that you went to the hospital, but before that, you had several weeks to do your exhibits. They need to be uploaded. They need to be done correctly, or you won't be able to enter any evidence. We're not going to wait. When we start on February 5th, we're not going to then go, oh, now, Ms. Weed, we're going to help you upload stuff. No, that all needs to be done before that. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. All right. Everybody is excused. I will see you at 9 a.m. on February 5th by Zoom.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh man. So another hearing, another date with Miss Weeds. So it's in my calendar. I'm not going to schedule anything else that day. We are following this one. All right, guys. It is 3 a.m. Dag nabbit. I have 5.5 minutes until I hit 3 hours. So I guess y'all are stuck with me for 5.5 more minutes. I don't think I have. Let me see what else I got. I'm getting real tired, y'all. I drank that last pot of coffee from Palmyra Productions, and I am still getting tired. So, but I think I might have something that's rather short, but give me a second to look here. Oh, yes.
This is in the District Court of Ellis County, Kansas. It is case 23 DM 300021. It is Carrie Groff versus Chad Miller. I have an announcement of appearances, please.
Carrie Groff.
And Ms. Groff, you're appearing here today pro se without an attorney,
Yes.
and it's your choice to appear without an attorney today.
Yes.
Okay. And you're Chad Miller,
Yes, sir.
and you're also appearing pro se,
Yes, sir.
representing yourself.
Yes, sir.
It's your decision to represent yourself here today.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We are on for a final hearing on the petition for protection from stalking. That was filed on November 15th, 2023. You were also served that day, Mr. Miller.
Yes, sir.
All right. Court has reviewed the petition. And Ms. Groff, if you would raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear and or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the penalties for perjury in the state of Kansas.
Yes.
Are you currently in the state of Kansas?
Yes.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Okay, Ms. Groff, would you tell me why you believe the defendant has committed stalking against you and why you are in need of a protection order?
Well, we had court yesterday with Judge Brown, and there's been a lot of problems previous with Chad calling my phone, texting. He was arrested, and he called me when he was in jail. There's just been a lot going on, and we have other cases going on, and I think it's for the best because he just doesn't know when to stop. He's just constantly texting, calling, harassing, everything.
And when you say harassing, what do you mean by harassment?
Well, he did break into my house at 3 o'clock in the morning while my daughter was sleeping, knocking on my windows and whatnot. So I think that's a lot of harassing. You're texting and calling and constantly just showing up when you want. And then he does show up and come through my doggy door. So
he crawled through the doggy door at 3 o'clock in the morning to get to her. Yo, if that ain't stalking, I don't know what is. That's scary. That is scary. If you tell someone, no, we need a break or whatever, and they break into your home, wow. Yeah, wow. Kitty says so too. Yeah, y'all hear him? He said it. He said, wow.
something needs to stop somewhere. It wasn't getting any better.
Has Mr. Miller threatened you?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
There was one time when he was completely drunk and I don't know what else on, and he told me if I ever left him, he would kill me. I think that's pretty severe. You don't take that lightly.
The incident of him entering your house approximately when was that?
That was November 13th at 3 o'clock in the morning, so it would have went into November 14th.
Okay, and you say he's entered into your house on a couple of other occasions?
He showed up just out of the blue at my house. And then there was another time that he came through my house and went through my house and went through the back door and assaulted my roommate.
When was that?
That was in July or August. It was summertime.
Summer of 23?
Yes.
And when he threatened to kill you?
That was in March of 2023.
Any other incidents that you wish to make the court aware of?
That's all that's happened. It's all been documented. If I don't answer his phone call, he just calls and calls and calls and texts to where I have to block him. And then when I block him, that's when he shows up. So it's one of those things, if I do it this way, it doesn't matter because he's still going to get here. He's still going to get a hold of me somehow.
Mr. Miller, do you have any questions of Ms. Groff?
I just want to apologize for my actions. I haven't been the best in her life and shit, and just apologize for my actions, man.
Right. Mr. Miller, do you want to put forth any evidence?
I just treated her like shit. I just took her heart and her kindness and everything for granted. I was just being selfish, not thinking about her and her daughter. Because I was just trying to, I don't know. I'm just sorry. I was getting out of control. It wasn't fair to her. She was just trying to do the best for her daughter and herself, and then trying to babysit me too. And it's just not fair to her or her family.
So he doesn't deny any of the allegations. Not at all. He's basically admitting to it all. He's really lucky that he's not facing far more severe criminal charges.
And from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, the court finds that, Mr. Miller, you have committed the act that constitutes stalking under Kansas law. You have intentionally harassed Ms. Groff. You threatened to do her harm. You threatened to kill her in March of 23. You entered into her house at 3 a.m, November of 23. You entered into her house on other occasions in the summer of 23. So you have a course of conduct, 2 or more separate acts over a period of time, showing a continuity of purpose. You are having contact with her that seriously alarms, annoys, or torments her or terrorizes her, and it serves no legitimate purpose.
Yes, sir.
You have committed what constitutes stalking. The court is going to make that finding, and the court is going to grant the restraining order in this matter. The restraining order will be in effect through January 4th of 2025. It's for 1 year. All right.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Miller, you need to understand that this order replaces the previous order that was issued by the court on November 15th, 2023, that you are not allowed to contact Ms. Groff in any way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly or through third persons. No contact with her whatsoever. You're not allowed to follow her, harass her in any way, assault her, threaten her, or interfere with her privacy rights, or her family, or her household.
Yes, sir.
Do not go around her household. Do not go around her place of employment.
Yes, sir.
You will not do anything that places her in fear of harm. The communication that you're not allowed to have includes phone calls, texting, emails, or any other social media. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You cannot contact her through her employers, fellow workers, or family members?
Won't be having pizza and tacos for a while.
Okay.
Yes,
I hope that wasn't a euphemism.
sir.
In addition, Mr. Miller, you need to understand that this order is effective immediately. A
Yeah.
copy will be placed with dispatch so that it is available to law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
Should you violate this restraining order, it may constitute a criminal offense under Kansas law that could include, but not limited to, a stalking violation, an assault violation, a battery violation, or a criminal trespass violation. And violation of the order itself is a violation of the law, violation of a protection order.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Should you violate this restraining order, the court can extend it. And if it's a serious violation, the court can extend it up to a lifetime no contact order. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Further, any violation of this order is punishable by contempt of court. Okay. Do you have a concealed carry license in Kansas?
No, sir.
Okay, because this has repercussions on that.
Yeah.
Okay. There's also federal and state law if you possess a firearm while under a protection order. So you need to be aware of that.
I just got a fishing pole. That's it.
Okay. So those restrictions are both under federal and state law while you're under this protection restraining order.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions at all, Mr. Miller?
No, I just appreciate your time. Appreciate Carrie's time.
And Ms. Groff, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Good luck to both of you. Mr. Miller, no contact in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We
How do I
are,
turn this? What do I do with this?
let the
Okay.
clerk know that you're done.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. His pain looked genuine and real, but why couldn't he have stopped himself before it got to that point? That's obsessive. That's scary to be in that position. You know, with her and her daughter. And he even said it. He's like, you know, she's trying to do her best for her daughter and babysit me too. He needs this time away because he wasn't respecting her boundaries, very obviously. So good on her for putting the wheels into motion to protect herself and her child. And man, I'm sure sober, you're a good guy, but stop drinking because it's very obviously contributing to your bad decision making. And use this time to get sober. And if you need more help than that, get it. Go fishing more often without drinking. If, you know, it's just, oh, that one got me. That one got me. Because maybe he's not a bad guy, but did I miss that part? That part I didn't. I know she said he was drinking. That part I heard. You know, it's just whatever he's doing, it ain't right. Because I mean, he's hurting her. Can you imagine how scared her kid must be if her kid woke up at 3 a.m. to hear mommy fighting with, you know, the boyfriend or the ex-boyfriend or whatever he was? because he crawled through the doggy door. Like, I worry how much the kid might have saw. But at least it seems like the kid's got a good role model. Her mom, her mom wasn't putting up with that kind of treatment. And that's very possible too. That's very possible. You usually have a pretty good read on people from what I've seen, I think. Okay, I won't argue with you. I had to hit 3 hours, dude. When I'm 5 minutes away from the next time level, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. All right. I love you all. You just know you're addicted to us and you can't leave us on your own. So you need me to end the stream so you can get on with your day and get your, adulting stuff done. Tell Robert and Adrian that I said to have a wonderful night, and I hope you enjoyed your sausage casserole. And I love you very much, Philip. From the bottom of my heart, I love you. I love all of you. Every single one of you. It is. Yep. You are absolutely correct. I wish I could see the emojis. I really do. I wish I could see the emojis. I wish I could see the super stickers. I wish it's not fair. Not fair at all. I hear Billy O.T. coming over. I want you all to be able to say goodnight to him too. I love you. All right. I don't know where he went. Okay. Sorry. Getting used to my new setup here. Now that I actually have a keyboard and a mouse. I love it. All right. To all of my fam, I love you guys. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.